So here I am with another episode of AJ Chats for you, where I sit down and I talk about something. And today I'm going to talk about the review problem. Let's talk about reviewing movies. Okay, so what's brought about this little chat? Well, I was watching a film last night. As I'm filming this, probably a week has passed since, and that was Commando, the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, which was a first time watch for me. Go and check out my review. I did review it as a first time watch, and I have given an option of other films to view as first time watches for me. Big films I never got round to seeing historically, which may shock you, some of these, but there we go. But anyway, that aside, reviewing films. So I watched this film. I got talking to it about the missus because she watched it with me, and it's a film that she's seen a considerable amount of time, to be honest, but like I said, for me, first time. And she said to me afterwards, and after I was talking about the film, she goes, I don't enjoy watching films with you anymore, because of how you analyse them, because you don't just watch a film and enjoy it or don't enjoy it. You are there to analyse that film, and it's got me thinking that okay, I've never really done that before too much. I mean, before creating this channel and before starting to do film and TV reviews, and I think she's right. I think that you know, I go into a film and I'm looking for things to talk about. I'm analysing. I'm analysing the use of the camera. I'm analysing the colour of the film. I'm analysing the soundtrack of the film. I'm analysing the acting. I'm analysing the story. The you know, anything wrong with the storytelling in the narrative of the film, and all this sort of stuff. So I'm no longer watching a film as, you know, as I once did, where I'll just sit down, sit back, relax and say, I'm going to watch this film and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy it. I've got to come out and I have got to pick this project that I've watched apart. I've got to tear it apart into a million pieces. And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I don't know. I mean, there's, you know, from me especially, there's two trains of thought on it. On the one side, yes, it is bad, because, you know, am I destroying films for myself? Am I criticising these films and then, you know, and rolling with that narrative, with that rhetoric that I've spewed about the film, and it's affecting me, you know, and my enjoyment. But on the other side, it makes for good. Some good videos and some good points I come out with. Case in point is when I reviewed films like, you know, The Batman. I was very critical of The Batman, you know, Robert Pattinson one. I've torn it apart. I can tear scenes apart, and you know, but really, it's a film that, given my love for the comic book genre, it's a film that I should really have loved and should have been sort of raving about and all this sort of a thing, but alas, it wasn't. More recently, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I'm just didn't take it as a film. I'm not watching it as a film. I've torn it apart. I've you know, elements of the story that contradict what's come before in other Marvel films and all this sort of a thing, and I don't know. Am I destroying film for myself? Or what? Should I be reviewing films? Is it, well, I'm not going to stop, that's for certain, because I enjoy it, and I am where I am with it, as in my mindset in watching a film. I am now in that place where I watch a project and it's kind of torn apart. I want to stop using the term torn apart. That sounds really bad. Heavily criticised. I don't know. I am critical of projects. Of course I am. Where's that enjoyment factor gone? I don't know. I don't know. And this brings me to why I'm going to be, you know, Commando was a funny one if you haven't seen the review. And I'll use this as because it's the most recent film that I've watched, but I don't know whether my enjoyment of the film was hindered by the fact that the film is 30 years old, whether whether that played a part in you know, would I have thought more of it if I was a kid and had seen it? Very likely, very probably. But visiting it as an adult, time hasn't been good from my perspective on the film. But then this has happened with other people where they've watched a film from that I grew up with, from that sort of era. They hadn't seen it. They then watched the film and they're like, well, I don't get what all the fuss is about. So time plays a big part in the not liking a film, but or not enjoyment that you don't get from others. But critical side of it, if you've got a channel, do you have this problem? Are you reviewing things and you're finding yourself saying, you know what, me actually doing reviews has had a sort of adverse effect on my enjoyment of films, or hasn't it? It's quite an interesting subject, so let me know down below. If you're a casual viewer, do you tear films apart? Do you sort of like review them in your head? You haven't got a channel, but you know, or do anything like this, but you still sit down and you analyse these films and you tear them apart. Is it something that you do? Do you feel that it's destroyed your enjoyment to a degree of movies or not? Let me know in the comment section down below. That's what it's there for. Just a quick chat, just a quick AJ chat. It was on my mind. The missus sparked it with her comments last night. Thusly, we are where we're at. So that's it. I'll leave you with that. Nice short one. And I'll see you very soon.